Hello everybody, welcome back. For this video we're going to go over list, and I will forewarn you that I have a pretty large file here, but what I want to do is kind of take you through the different ways you can use a list, and I'm going to test out each one for you so you can see. Okay, so let's just jump right in. Alright, here we have an example list with 3 names. This is how we access it. We're just using for loop. We're saying student and students, which hopefully this really makes sense. And then we're printing hello student dot title with the method plus this exclamation point, or concatenate, or simply add together. And I'm going to read this little blip here. Since lists usually contain more than one item, it's good practice to name them with plural names. So naming this dog and then equal to a list is, I guess, bad practice. So list had more than one item, so give it a plural name. Okay, if we just wanted to access one item from the list, we already know how to do this, right? So we just set a variable dog is equal to dogs, and the zeroth element, that just sounds weird, and it should come out to be border collie, and then we're just simply printing that dog title out. So if we went ahead and ran this, where's my terminal? All right, then we're gonna see hello this Bernice, Aaron, Cody, and then we're gonna see border collie, which is that 0th element. So back to wrong PyCharm. Okay. Now let's take a look at inside and outside of a loop. So let's see how that works. So we're just going to uncomment this. Ooh. And of course it gets all my spacing all screwed up. I really couldn't think of a better way to do this though. Oops. Alright, so here we'll do that. Let's go ahead and comment that out real quick, so that we're not getting the same prints over and over. Alright, we're working with this list up here. Alright, so inside and outside the loop. Okay, so inside the loop in dogs and dogs, we're going to say I like this dog. And then, actually, I kind of would prefer space there. I don't know what I was thinking. When you concatenate things, what I like to do is use a comma in between words, because if I actually had that plus there, it would kind of smush them together. But with this, like, I want to add an S and an exclamation point. Smushing that on the end just kind of makes sense. Okay, so anyway, and then outside of the function, we're just going to, outside of the loop, I'm sorry, we're just going to print that's how I feel about dogs. So let's run it and see what happens. Let's clear the screen. Border collie. I like border collies. No, I really like border collies. I like Australian cattle dogs. No, I really like Australian cattle dogs. I like Labrador retrievers. That's just how I feel about dogs. Okay, so that's kind of cool. All of that output was produced by very little code, really. Here's our list. We still have this print statement here, don't we? That's cute. Alright, let's just go ahead and get rid of that. Alright, the next thing we'll go over is enumerating a list. Okay, the enumerate function tracks the index of each item for you. Alright, I'm just going to run this and then show you what's happening, and it'll make more sense. If I try to explain it, I'm going to butcher it. I can just say that. Okay, so let's go ahead and comment these. And all right. So let's. This is probably not best practice, but let's go ahead and move that back. Okay. I must have been in like a concatenating mood or something. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, let's get. What am I doing? Sorry, guys. I'm gonna fix these because I really want there to be space. Okay. So enumerate. What is that? Okay. So here we have the results for the dog show are as follows. So you can see we added a different thing in this for statement, this for loop. We just said, hey, for whatever variable, we chose dog and dogs because that makes sense. Print this out, right? Well, now we added an extra variable. So we said we called it index, which makes sense because the enumerate function tracks the index of each item for you, right? So we say for index dog in enumerate dogs, which is our list. We have a new variable we called place, and all we're doing is taking this index and we're turning it into a string. Makes things easier. And then we're going to print place, dog, dog title. Okay? So let me show you what this looks like when I run it. Oh, look at that. So we have place, 0, dog, border collie, place 1, okay, and then second place. All right. So we have that. Not bad. Yeah, I really should have kept that. Maybe that's why I had it there. I knew there was a reason. I'm just a stickler for things like this. Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay, place 0, blah, blah, blah. All right. Okay, let's go back. All right, so that's enumeration. So you see how we got the numbers? It kept track of their index value, and that's what it was, right? Those were the index values. Those weren't necessarily the placements, but we know that border collie is the zeroth element, right? And then the first one's this cattle dog and the Labrador Retriever. Okay, so kind of cool because you can print this stuff out and you don't have to really think about it at the time. So like a good use for this could be if you were going to use you could use this as a counter or some system like a list or something, like a listing out system or something like that. But it's just kind of cool. I mean, it is to me anyway. All right, let's hop back in. No, I really hope we have enough time for all this. Okay, finding an element in the list. There are easy and then there are, easy. Okay. So what we have here is we are printing out the index, and then down here we're testing whether the item is in a list. So notice we added that in word, like not the N word, but the in word. And we print Australian cattle dog in dogs. Okay, so this is, if you guys remember Boolean statements, this is basically what it's doing, is it's checking, okay? So let's run that real quick and show you what that looks like. So we get 1 true, false, okay? Now, Australian cattle dog, from our last example, we knew after we printed that out that, hey, that's in the first place, the first index. So guess what we did? We just said dogs.index, parentheses, index function, and instead of trying to remember what the number, we can just write the name. So let's say you have a big long list and you want to do something crazy with it and find something like in it, and you want to first find the index value, and then based on the index value you want to do something with that, instead of going, okay, I think the value is like 6 or 7, or maybe it's like 55 or something like that. You just type it out and it's like, oh, boom, there we go. All right, problem solved. Okay, now let's add. Right here, we're going to add some items to a list, and you should have already worked your way through this. This is the append function, and the only difference here is we're going to use a for loop. Are we now? There we go. We're going to use a for loop, okay, and go over this. Okay, so dogs append, and this is actually printing out the title, so let's go ahead and run it, and bam, bam, oh, whoops. Okay, so we ran the same thing as we did up here, don't worry. We have border collies are cool, Australian cattle dogs are cool, Labrador retrievers are cool, poodles are cool. So what do we do? Okay, this is pretty neat. So, we stuck this into the list, we snuck it in there, and then when we printed out all these are cool, it added it to the end of the list. So just for funsies, let's add another one and then rerun it, and I'll show you what I mean. No one ever adds beagles to these things. So you see how we have it right there, poodles are cool and stuff. Okay, now we clear it and let's run it again, and we see we have beagles added to the list. Kind of cool. So we use the append to append it, and then we use the for loop to spit this out for every single item within that list. I would call that dynamic for sure. Alright. Now, inserting items into a list. Okay. So we could have taken this poodle and used the insert function and put it in the first index value placeholder, blah blah blah, and that's where it would have went. Okay, so yeah, that basically covers quickly these two things. So okay, to recap so far, hopefully you're with me, hopefully you're copying this stuff down. We're just showing you how to access a list, all right? Showing you how to work with loops inside and outside of lists, enumerating a list, which is really cool, tracking the index of each item for you. All right, so if your lists are in order, it's really neat because you can have this print everything out. Yeah, and finding the element, there's this new index type thing going on here, function, and these Boolean values. So testing, is it in dog? Like we're just passing the string through the list. Is this in dogs? And then printing it out. And then here's where we just added some stuff. All right. Hey, let's add some stuff to the dogs. Sounds good to me. And this is our loop that we basically use just to print out some stuff after we added stuff to the list, right? Okay. So for here, we're going to create an empty list. Dun dun dun. All right, and from what I've noticed, for the most part, creating an empty list is kind of a good storage device. The good thing about lists is that you can easily add to them and take away from them, and there's no limit. So you can just continuously add to a list, and then you can continuously take away. And whatever order they're in is the order that it's in. So it's kind of cool because you can manipulate and change it, not like tuples. And dictionaries you can manipulate and change. However, there's no ordered here, so it doesn't keep them in order. All right, enough of that tangent. Okay, so usernames. Yeah. Okay, this is how we do it. We have empty brackets, right? Okay. Now let's add some users. We just did that. So we're going to append these 3 users into a list. Okay, let's greet them. For username and usernames, we're going to print welcome, username, let's give that a space, username, title, okay? So this should do exactly what you think it's going to do, and we're just going to welcome those 3 people we just added to that list. So welcome Brent, Cody, Steve. Pretty easy, right? Okay, now what if we wanted to recognize our first user and welcome our newest user? How would we accomplish that? Well, with these 2 lines right here. So, how does this work? Easy. We say thank you for being our first user. All right? And then we add username, usernames, okay, our list. We call the 0th element, so that's going to match up with Brent right up here. And then we call the title method just to print it out. And then we say, and a warm welcome to our newest user. Now this is a slick trick because all we're doing is saying we know that our ending index value in any list is -1. It starts -1 and goes back. So we go, hey, let's just grab -1 and say, oh, you're our newest, and grab 0 because that'll stay the same unless we change it. Thank you for being the first, and let's go ahead and run that. Oh, look at that. Thank you for being the first user, me, and welcome to our newest user, Steve, right? And that's pretty cool. Let's check on time here. Oh, wow, I'm way over time on this video. That's okay. We'll just keep going. We'll finish it out. It'll be a long one, but it'll be worth it. Okay, and wait, how much more code do I have? Oh, wow. I'm going to have to go ahead and pause it here with these right here. So hopefully we're going to pick up right here at usernames, and I'm going to leave myself a note. Didn't think it was going to be that long, but there's a lot more that I really want to show you, and I'm going to. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video so far. Please subscribe and like it if you like it, and come back for the next one on list, and there's a lot of good stuff I got for you. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.